What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is a series of unfortunate events, Season 1, Episode 6, The Wide Window, Part 2. So this is the wrap-up for The Wide Window, the third book, and this is probably going to be where a lot of my memory of what happens is going to go away, because honestly, I remember the first three books a bit better because the movie did come out a little bit more recently. And so, based on the movie, even though they didn't follow the books exactly, I remembered enough from the movie connecting to the books to say, okay, yeah, I remember the books. But I can say, watching this, there's a lot of stuff that they did that really did follow the books very well. I mean, they hit a lot of the main plot points. They find the note, but they're not able to figure out the note right away, unlike the movie, which, to be honest, didn't really have the time to do it. So they find the note, they're like, wait, there's a lot of grammatical errors here. Oh, let me circle that. Oh, it spells curdled cave. They did that so quickly in the movie. Here it's like, well, they weren't able to figure it out at first, and they think it's a forgery. So then Mr. Poe reads it, and he's like, no, look, this matches, so clearly this is not a forgery. And then they're talking to Captain Sham, and to get out of that conversation, they eat some peppermints to activate their allergies. So then they head back to the house and figure out the message then. Take a boat across the Lake Lacrimose in the middle of a hurricane, somehow survive, find Aunt Josephine, start heading back, but she had a banana, so the leeches are attacking. Captain Sham shows up on a ship, and then he pushes her into the water and leaves her. Well, in the book, I think he just left her to the leeches. In this one, he just, pushes her in. But either way, I mean, they hit all of those major plot points. And it really did work out pretty effectively. They obviously do certain things that are way over the top. The scene in the house when it's falling down, very, very over the top. You got Sonny biting onto the doorknob. You got Violet holding on as the map is flying out of the wall. You got Klaus flipping out of the house, grabbing onto a rug, and then as it blows back up, flipping back into the house. Just yeah, this is a little goofy. But a lot of it is, I feel like they are having certain elements like that, some of the henchmen that are involved, some of the stuff with Count Olaf. A lot of it is played up for the kids. They want the kids to enjoy it, because it's not really, if you think about the story itself, it's not really a kid's story. It's very dark, it's very grim. It's not something for little kids. So they have to have those elements in there, I think, if they want to make it a family overall thing. But then, of course, they do have a lot of the more serious jokes. Lemony Snicket provides a lot of the dry humor for the older people. And I think I said this before, but it just that scene really did confirm that for me. Okay, some of these scenes are not to be taken seriously at all. But I really do like certain elements that they are adding in to make it their own. The whole secret organization are really playing a big part. And they already were, but now it's like they're playing an even more major part. They're in this moment where they got to get out of the restaurant, but it's like, well, there are no peppermints. Well, one of the guys that is being forced to kind of make food for them is a part of the organization. He's like, so are there any allergies that we need to be aware of? And then Violet's like, well, we're allergic to peppermints. He's like, oh, okay, here's the check with peppermints. Very clearly being like, hey, if you want to ever get out of here. So they eat the peppermints and they manage to escape that way. Later on, they're in the boat and Klaus is trying to use some sort of magnifying glass to light the thing on fire so they can call for help. Well, the angle on the light from the lighthouse is not right, so the parents are flying overhead in a plane, and somehow the lighthouse light hits the dad's binoculars to go into Klaus's magnifying glass, and that's how it lights it. Very coincidental, obviously, but it's being played up for the fact that this is contributing a major role in the story overall. It's not just something that's happening on the outside. It's not something that's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a secret organization in case you wanted to know this. No, it's very clearly the main thing about this show. They're making it the main thing. It's all about the secret organization. And honestly, I kind of like that, because the books, we never really did learn a whole lot about it. If we did, it was very subtle and my kid mind missed it. So I don't know if it actually ever did explain what they were about and all of that stuff. It was probably explained in other books. But this is clearly showing us, hey, this is what's going on. This is the secret organization. Their parents are still alive, looking for them, all that stuff. So that part of it I really do enjoy because it's something new. They're doing their own take on it, and it's not just following the books word for word for word. Even though I would prefer it at some scenes, like not mentioning Uber. Still a little sore about that, sorry. But all in all, I mean, it really is enjoyable in this, and they do a good job of kind of combining all of it together. And there's so much to like about the show right now that these little things where it's like, oh, they mentioned Uber, or oh, that scene where they're flying out the window, oh, that's too unrealistic. Those scenes are made up for in the fact that a lot of it really does work. I mean, Lemony Snicket still really funny. All of his jokes still really land. A lot of the acting, it's over the top, yes, but you know that they're playing it over the top because you've seen these actors in other things before, and you know that this isn't usually them. So just getting to see them be like completely watching Alfred Woodard, if that's how you say her name, watching her just freak out over every little thing, and like they're on the boat and she's like screaming and crying and being very dramatic. Don't throw me to the leeches. It's really funny just to see that. And I love how they're all kind of playing up that sort of tone with a very grim element behind it. So that part is really well done. Ultimately, it ends on a very interesting note, in my opinion, because we see they find a picture and it's got their parents and then Aunt Josephine and her husband and Uncle Monty. So it's a picture, I'm guessing, of the secret organization, and it's Lucky Smells Lumber Mill, which is the next destination in the miserable mill. So they end up, like, there's a scene where, of course, Sonny bites the leg off of Count Olaf, and that's how his leg is revealed. Apparently, he was just holding it, like, straight back. Ow. That seems like it would hurt. But yeah, so reveals it to Count Olaf. So Mr. Poe's talking to him while they're having their conversation. The children sneak off into the back of the truck to go to Lucky Smells Lumber Mill, and then Mr. Poe turns around to find them. Count Olaf and his group sneak off. And so now they're on their way to Lucky Smells Lumber Mill. And that's very interesting for me because I didn't really remember exactly how the fourth book went because it's been so long. But I did remember for at least the first 6 books, I believe, it was all just, okay, they're at a, they get adopted, or they find some sort of family member to go live with, and then something goes wrong, so they have to go to the next one. Something goes wrong, they have to go to the next one. Something goes wrong, they have to go to the next one. And so whenever they hopped in the back of the truck, I'm like, wait, but I thought the next one was supposed to have a family member. And so I kind of looked up what the book was about just to remember, and they do. They go live with a guy named Sir, which I kind of had to read over it a bit just to remember, okay, what happens again? But yeah, so I find it very curious that they just decide to hop into this back of the truck, and they're just heading there without Mr. Poe's knowledge, which is kind of part of the thing. Mr. Poe knows where they are for the first several books, so I don't know. I'm wondering where this is going to go from here. What else are they going to change as far as the main story goes? Because honestly, from here, the book started getting better and better and better. Just the first 3 were kind of like picking up the story. It's getting interesting. It's interesting. Okay, yeah, this is good. And then it just started getting really, really good. It started getting even better with every book. So I really wonder what they're going to do. And obviously, this is the last book for this season. So 2 episodes left. I want to know what's going to happen. Hopefully it's something very interesting. Hopefully it ends on it can end on a high note because unfortunate events. But I'm hoping it does kind of end on a very interesting note. Like this is where we're going from here. This is the direction we're taking from here. But all in all, I'm still really loving it. I'm still really hoping that they continue on from here and just continue in the same tone, continue in the same, I guess, vein that they're going, because they really do a good job with everything. And one thing I don't really ever talk about, but I think needs to be mentioned, the scenes are really well done. A lot of it is kind of CGI because they don't really have you can't really find the places in the books that are mentioned, and so a lot of it you can tell is pretty much CGI, but still they do a very good job with it. They make it look fairly realistic. When they're driving up the mountain in the last episode in the taxi cab, I mean, a lot of that looks really realistic, and it feels like you're really there. It feels like all these places really do exist, and I don't know, scenes and sets aren't really something that get talked about a whole lot, but they did a good job with this, so all in all, I'm pleased. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know, we can talk about it and discuss all the good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future series of unfortunate events, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.